Hail and well met, fellow Emnestrae. I finally got around to doing this video about how I organize my spells on my action bars. Just off the top, I want to say this is not the way to do it, the only way to do it. This is how I do it, and I just want to talk about some ideas that I have about how to set these things up. You got to do you. The other thing I would say is that this is mostly about muscle memory, so that on all my characters I know where certain kinds of spells are, and I organize my action bars the same way on all my characters. So let's start with the bread and butter, which is the most commonly used spells in combat. Those I put on the first action bar, which is assigned to keyboard keys 1 through equal sign. You can see here, and I put the most commonly used ones on the left side, assigned to keys like 1 through 5, and these are spells that I use all the time, and they're roughly in order of priority. So for instance, number 1 here is my charge. You'll see when I switch over to my cat that the charge is also on key 1. So mangle, swipe, maul, thrash, I use these all the time. And the reason I put these here is because keys 1 through 5 on the keyboard are right above the WASD key, WASD keys that I use for movement, and I can pretty easily, just flick my finger up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. very easily. My right hand is on the mouse, doing various things. I realized that I used to be mostly interacting with my spells through the keyboard, but now I've realized in looking some of the videos, in my dotage I do a lot of clicking with the mouse. But theoretically, you should be able to, you should have the most commonly used keys above the WASD. This goes for the F1 through F5 spells as well. That's the second action bar. Because F1 is a little harder to reach, I use things that I use quite a bit, but not always. So the top priority goes to action bar 1. The second priority goes to action bar 2, and then other spells that I don't use as much go elsewhere. And I find that I quite often do use my mouse to click those, with the exception of these ones over here on the right side of the first action bar. I always have my interrupts and my failsafes in this zone. So like Skull Bash is an interrupt, and my interrupts are usually on it varies slightly, but usually on key 0 and key minus sign. And so I find that I can sometimes with my left hand, I'm moving with WASD and doing spells 1 through 5. I might take my right hand off the mouse and just hover over the 0 key when I know that the enemy that I'm engaged with is about to cast, so that I can quickly do the interrupt. Those are the most important ones. The other utility spells I put in, like the mid to right side of the top bar, right side of the bottom bar, and then over here in the third bar are just some other utilities, like the battle res. On a lot of my characters, these aren't health potions, but I put like health potions and health stones in this zone. I don't know if that's the best place for them. Probably not, but that's where I put them, and that's where I remember that they are when I need them. So the sidebars over here I use just for, like, I don't know, what would you call it, leisure activities. So I always put my hearthstones and my travel spells. So if I were on a mage, I would have my portals roughly in the same space. Hearthstones, and then mounts. I'll talk a little bit more about mounts in a second, but mounts are generally, you know, in this area. Um, vanity things like companion pets I put here on all characters, and then other special utilities, like I have the Tuskar dinghy here and Katie's stamp whistle. Notice I have the Tundra mammoth here just for, you know, when I need to sell. And then in this zone, I usually put my buffs over here. Sometimes I put them here. So Mark of the Wild here. The Fortitude buff on my priest would go here. These are situational things. I still have my Shadowlands stuff here. Sometimes I put like the flight whistles here. And then at the bottom I usually have professions here. The other thing I wanted to say about mounts, because I don't use mounts as much on the Druid, you can't really see it, but I always put my mounts in F10 through F12, and I just know whenever I'm done with, you know, combat or whatever, and I want to start traveling, I have the muscle memory to, you know, just hit F10 to summon my Drake. Oh, by the way, bonus little thing here. If you're looking for a way to get off your Drake really quickly, put this summon random favorite mount in your Drake action bar, and you find that here in your mounts. Just drag it down there. I put it on key 5, so if I hit the 5 key, you know, I'm off my thing, ready to do combat, whatever. So I put my Drake on F10, my land mount on F11, and my flying mount on F12. Again, you can't really see, 'cause if I you know, hit F12, it would summon my land mount because I can't fly here. But if I were in a zone that I could fly, I hit F12 and I'm on my but can't use my Drake. It will summon my other travel form on this Druid, but my flying mount on another. So the last thing I want to do is just show you what happens when I switch over to the Feral Druid. Pretty much the same thing. These are my most commonly used spells here. This is my charge. So I charge into battle using the 1 key on either a bear or a cat. My most commonly used spells here. My interrupts and failsafes over here. When I say failsafe, I mean if things are going bad, I hit the equals key, and it like here Barkskin might come up. On a different character might be, I don't know, lay on hands for the pally, something like if something's going really wrong. And you can see it. I would say that there is an issue of syncing the action bars across different specs, because it takes some work, and sometimes if you don't use your other spec for a while, it gets out of sync, and there's other stuff that you don't expect to find in your action bar. That happened with me with this Feral Druid. I haven't used it in a while, and the action bars got way out of sync with bear form. That's about it. I hope it wasn't too wordy. Peace out.